Yo, what's going on with the sky? In today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and strange TikToks that are gonna make you question reality.
Look at this. Look at this.
What is this?
Look at this. Get out of the way. Look at this. Somebody please explain. That is some kind of an artificial background.
Yo.
Artificial sky. Yellow. Looks like wires, maybe? Yeah, that's trippy. That's trippy. Hold up. Hold up, let me get another angle.
Hunger Games, anybody?
Gotta see this. Look at this. Look at this. Somebody help me understand that. Somebody help me understand what the heck that is. Look at no, that's the sky's tripping. Big time. Big time, baby. Big time. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
The sky is tripping.
Look at this.
Yo.
Somebody please explain.
Is the Matrix breaking apart? My sunflowers wouldn't face the sun today, but they all turned and are facing the moon. We got moonflowers out here.
This.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sky is falling. Sorry, the Matrix is falling. The sky simulator is failing.
Explain. Camera. That is some kind of an artificial background, an artificial sky, yellow. Looks like wires, maybe? Yeah, that's trippy. That's trippy. Hold up. Hold up, let me get another angle.
Nope.
Gotta see this.
Nope.
Look at this.
What the fuck?
Look at this. Somebody help me understand that.
Yeah, help me understand.
Somebody help me understand what the heck that is. Look at no, that's the sky's tripping. Big time. Big time, baby. Big time. Look at this. Look at this.
What the fuck?
Look at this. Get out of the way. Look at this. Somebody please explain.
What the
Fuck.
Look at this.
In this video, she shows us what tears look like under a microscope. Make sure you watch until the end and let me know what you think in the comments below.
crystals? You know, if you look at like Google Maps and stuff, you'll see like land that looks like this in a way. What if this is somehow how the land we have is formed? Because this looks like crystallized something. I don't know what it is, but isn't it just crazy how you could take a microscope, right, and look at something and a whole new world is revealed to you? Tardy babe, is that what it said?
A German flat earth map from World War II has just been uncovered, and it depicts another ice wall all around Earth with other continents and land masses that are outside of it. And supposedly Germany during this time period went on expeditions to see these black circles. I had to erase that so we didn't have to see their symbol, but this is supposedly where they went out and just claimed this land. Here's New Schwabenland, whatever that is, and they actually have Asgard way over there. And then up here we've got Terra de Vista. I'm not sure what that is, and I don't know what that is either. Is that supposed to be the top of the earth or something? And then over here we have the lost continent of Lemuria, which apparently went underneath the sea and sank somehow, but I guess it's on this map from the 1940s. But a lot of these words we can't even read because it's in German.
What if Lemuria is still there? You know? But like, you can't see it on anything that we access. And we don't really know how to get there. You know? Like, what if, traveling the Pacific is just like very tricky and you might get lost and then you find Lemuria.
German, but this is also a reflection of the moon map, if you've ever seen that.
Oh yeah, I have seen the moon map before.
Ayanna Pressley just laid out the MAGA Republican Project 2025 agenda in clear, quick detail, and everyone should watch.
And we must sound the alarm. Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. I won't detail every aspect, but I'll share some highlights. The Department of Education would be eliminated, cutting students off from civil rights protections and ending essential Title I funding for K through 12 schools. The Department of Justice would go on a murdering spree. It would rush to use the death penalty and expand its use to even more people while circumventing due process protections. Project 25 not only calls for national book bans in schools, but also creates a list of banned words for the federal government that would be deleted from, quote, every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists. End quote. Here are just a few of the words on the list: diversity, gender, reproductive health, and of course, conservatives want to ban the word abortion. On that note, abortion care would be inaccessible and illegal no matter where you live. Take it from them. On page 6 of its playbook, Project 2025 states, quote, the Dobbs decision is just the beginning, end quote. People, even in my district, the Massachusetts 7th, a leader in repro justice, would be criminalized for pursuing essential health care. Now, we could have an entire hearing on how these policies would quite literally ruin and end lives, and I didn't even touch upon proposals for housing, climate change, worker protections, and more. If enacted, Project 2025 would destroy the federal government as we know it.
They're trying to tear down the system and start a whole new system here, huh? Hey, man, the way the world been going, hey, I can see it happening.
Did you hear about that volcano that's happening in Italy right now?
No.
It's called Campe Freghe.
All the time.
It's sitting over this giant basin of magma. It's supposedly the second most powerful supervolcano on Earth. This past week, there have been 2 major earthquakes from that mountain.
That's bad news.
They've set up evacuation plans.
Yes.
But like if this thing goes off, we're talking like half of Italy. But it's so big, too, that Mount Vesuvius,
Yeah.
which is also in Italy, they speculate that the magma, it's like connected. If Campe Flegre went off, Mount Vesuvius would go off at the same time, too. It would be so intense and catastrophic that it would send the entire Earth into a prolonged 2 to 3 year winter. National Institute of Geophysics confirmed that the eruption is a present and near scenario. They said the global temperature would drop 2 degrees Celsius.
What if Mother Nature's curing herself? Have you thought about that?
Are we going through a reset? Is that what that is?
I used to think all the orphans on the orphan trains may have been grown in a lab, but now I'm starting to think that they were stolen and they put all their parents in the insane asylums. There was like 20 times more people in insane asylums back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. People probably don't actually even go insane naturally. The handlers taught the kids how to work in factories and built them an entire false historical narrative. Out of those kids is where the secret societies came. It was like being on the debate team or FFA or the football team. You were a part of something, and they used those kids to enforce the other kids. So the ones that tattled on people became the police, etc., etc. There's so much more to it, but if you want a great place to start, watch Mind Unveiled on YouTube. Great content, great research.
He ain't lying. Mind Unveiled. Great content.
We're getting Rep TV announced July 6th in the Netherlands, and this is why. If you're not familiar with the 112-day theory posted by Nikki here, when I tell you I gagged when she posted that because she does all of the Swiftie math, and she, with the 112-day theory, there's a pattern that Taylor has done, and this is confirmed. This is not just clowning, this is like actual, like we've seen it substantiate into real life with 112 days. Again, another one of my favorite Swiftie content creators. I think the clock reset in Paris. The 112 days we've been following this pattern, but the clock went from pink to orange in Paris. Time has been reset. So 112, where did it come from? Well, Taylor has 112 stolen songs over her 6 albums, and when you add 1, 1, 2, you get 13, so 11 plus 2. As you can see, this is proven historically with the Speak Now Taylor's version released on July 7th, and then 1989, 112 days after that. So where this got a little bit crazy is Nikki commented on my last video that the 112th show is actually July 6th here in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. So since the clock has been reset in Paris, what have we seen? So many orange costumes. Now, something to remember is that orange was a part of the Reputation era. It's a color that was used with the black initially, but then kind of dropped off. And why the eggs are coming together for me is because the national color of the Netherlands is orange. That is where she's playing her 112th show in the Netherlands on July 6th. Also, Nikki, one of her first videos on the 112-day theory was around the Midnight's map and the 76 pointing to Europe. I think it's actually 7-6 in American cadence, so the 6th of July. Let's go back to that egg. So if we go back 112 days before July 6th, we have March 17th. Taylor Nation was hardcore egging Reputation on this day. With this post, killer first time that we saw it. And then the little detective emoji, something was happening. And that brings us to October 27th. Taylor is playing in New Orleans, America's most haunted city. That is where she will release Rep TV. So it'll be announced on July 6th in the Netherlands with all of the orange Easter eggs we've been seeing, and it'll come out on the 27th. The other interesting thing to know is that is almost to a year minus a day of 1989 and Speak Now, so the same 112. The clock has been reset. And just to put one more little tiny Easter egg into the basket, Paul McCartney and John Lennon met on July 6, 1957. She loves Paul McCartney. We know that. They're really good friends. There's always these Beatles kind of eggs and references. It's cool that this lines up. So I think this is how she's going to announce it. She's just going to come out. There will be no explanation, only Reputation with orange snakes on the 6th of July in the Netherlands.
Reptilian TV. That's what that is.
Allegations of Martin Lawrence being a clone after dying from stage 3 lymphoma are finally confirmed. Martin Lawrence started his comedy career in 1992 with the hit show called Martin. Unfortunately, in 2022, he was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma. He knew he was going to pass away, and he wrote in his will that he accepted to be cloned so that he can continue his work in the mainstream. Martin Lawrence's family has supported his decision and has accepted his clone as part of them. Unfortunately, the clone cannot withstand and is not the same as the original Martin Lawrence, for the clone does not have a soul. Now that the clone is doing interviews with Will Smith, it's being apparent and the world can see it's not the same Martin Lawrence. He's a lot different. His speech is different, he talks a lot slower, and he looks like he's doing bad. A lot of people are commenting like he's on drugs or something. But unfortunately, the truth is, Martin Lawrence is dead. He died in 2022, and we now have a clone.
Yo, do your research on that one because I haven't.
You guys liked part 1 of the Vatican secrets, but wait until you find out what comes next. So here we have the Vatican Hall 6, where the Pope addresses the people. Just take a look at it from the back. What does this look like? I'll give you a hint. You can see here you have the two eyes, the two sharp teeth. The hull or the row is the tongue, and it even looks like scales in the window. Weird, right? So let's take a closer look at what's on stage behind where the Pope stands. Look at this.
Whoa.
Look at this statue. Does this not give you like so many just disturbing vibes? I mean, like it just feels pretty evil, right? So the statue is called The Resurrection by Pericle Fazzini, and it's intended to capture the anguish of 20th century mankind living under the threat of nuclear war. What a comforting thing to have behind the Pope, right? That feeling, that sense of anguish. So wait until you hear what this statue really is. It's, quote, Christ rises from this crater torn open by a nuclear bomb, an atrocious explosion, a vortex of violence and energy. Now, we already talked about the hall looking like a snake, like the head of a serpent, right? Look at this statue from this view when you zoom in.
Oh, snap.
So there's Jesus. Look at his head. Look at the way his head is. Does that not look like the head of a snake?
It does.
Tell me that's not weird.
5 things the government doesn't want you to know about. 1. Area 51 and UFOs. Many conspiracy theories revolve around Area 51 in Nevada, suggesting that the U.S. government is hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life and UFOs. Some believe that alien spacecraft and bodies are stored and studied there. 2. JFK assassination. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963 has spawned numerous conspiracy theories. Some suggest that the government, the CIA, or other shadowy organizations were involved in a cover-up or orchestrated the assassination. 3. 9/11. Inside job. This theory posits that the U.S. government either allowed the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks to happen or orchestrated them to justify subsequent military actions and the implementation of stringent security measures.
Probably both.
4. Moon landing hoax. Some believe that the Apollo moon landings were faked by NASA and the U.S. government as part of the space race against the Soviet Union. Proponents of this theory point to alleged anomalies in the moon landing footage and photographs. 5. MK Ultra. This was a real CIA program that involved experiments on human subjects, often without their knowledge or consent, to develop drugs and techniques for mind control and interrogation. Conspiracy theories suggest that MK Ultra's scope and the extent of its abuses were far greater than publicly acknowledged. Follow and like for more crazy facts.
Hey, a lot of like prescription medication probably comes from MK Ultra, just testing on people, you know, and that's why they push for mental health nowadays, because they want you to go see a therapist, and then you go see that therapist, and they put that MK Ultra medication up on you, and now you got a whole different personality now.
I wasn't always a flat earther. People like to assume that because I'm a flat earther, I must be an uneducated moron. In reality, up until about 4 years ago, I was just like everybody else. On top of that, I was a biology and chemistry major. My goal was to be a biology professor, with the dual certification so I could also teach chemistry. My senior year of high school, I spent at Cornell University in Ithaca in a life science program. I won a prize of Biology Student of the Year in high school. I also took biology twice because I loved it so much. From a young age, I had always had a fascination of understanding how things work and why things happen. What's also been present is my faith, although that wasn't even very serious until I was a sophomore in high school, but then it came really serious. You see, I had a very personal encounter with the Lord where I laid hands on a friend in prayer and was able to witness an actual miracle happen right before my eyes. There was no pretending that that didn't happen. So from sophomore year all the way up to, now, I guess, it's been a battle between balancing my faith and science. A lot of Christians try to agree with them both, that there's a way that they can go hand in hand. But at the end of the day, no matter how you look at it, there are things in the Bible that are directly contradicted by science. The theory of evolution being an obvious one, the Big Bang Theory, and the shape of our Earth. It got to a point when I just had to realize that it had to be one or the other for certain things. I couldn't serve two masters. I had a passionate love for science, and I had a passionate love for God. But they both couldn't be right about everything.
Wait. I concur. You could still have a passionate love about science and still believe in your faith. You just don't have to believe that science means the earth is round. You can still say you're a flat earther and still believe in science. There's still chemicals. There's still biology out here. You know what I mean?
And that started my journey into doing some serious research of my own. I'm not talking just paying attention to conspiracy theory websites and stuff. I'm talking, I went hard digging into NASA files and government files. It took me hours upon hours, days and days of reading documents. I had, I think at one point, 21 tabs open on my computer. Another catalyst in this whole process was about the time that COVID came out, and something was just very fishy to me from a biological standpoint. And I didn't just believe the globe one day and then all of a sudden wake up and believe the flat earth. That's not how it worked. Honestly, it started out as just realizing that not everything is what we've been told, that something wasn't right, and it started out as a deep mistrust for the information that we were being fed. Since doing all of my own research, my faith in the Lord has been solidified tenfold. I believe what I believe for a reason, not just because I blindly believe what other people tell me. The things that we are taught from childhood are meant to have us look at the first page of the Bible and say, oh, that's not true, and then shut it and not give any of the book a rest of a fighting chance. Universe, it literally means one spoken phrase. Yet the entire world gives credit to random chance, what is rightfully God's. What better way to convince people that God doesn't exist and you are unimportant than to convince you that you're a tiny little speck, a product of random chance, spinning through an indefinite universe? When in all reality, God made each and every one of us on this earth for a reason. He placed us in the period in time that He placed us for a reason. Every single one of us has the Spirit of God, the breath of life within us, and that's there for a reason, and He wants to know you. The Bible doesn't talk about other planets, an infinite level of expanding universe, because it's not there. God made the heavens, and God made the earth, and that is all that there is. What people think are extraterrestrials that are going to start coming out more and more now, they are fallen angels, and guess what? They are talked about in Scripture. God knows what He's doing. The spirit realm is very real. Angels, demons, fallen angels. Jesus is real. Heaven is real. But they don't want you to know that. There is more and more evidence coming out about NASA's falsities, the fake moon landing. Gosh, so many people now realize that it never happened. At the end of the day, God has proven Himself to be real in my life and loves me more than I could ever even imagine. It doesn't matter if the most powerful people in the world want to tell me something different. I know who I am. It doesn't matter what other people think about me. I believe what I believe, and what the rest of the world thinks doesn't really matter.
Yo, to all the non-believers out there, they over there thinking, well, since you put it that way, to all the people that believed that they actually landed on the moon back then, we don't fault you for that. I mean, if we was back in that time, right? We didn't have no technology, we didn't really know no better, and they say, hey, we got some new technology, we're gonna go to the moon. We probably would say, yo, we going to the moon. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know no better. Fast forward now, we look back at it like, ain't no way y'all went to the moon.
One of the leading Anunnaki proposed creating primitive workers, called Lulu, to relieve the Anunnaki of their laborious tasks on Earth. He identified beings in the Abzu, who walked upright and used their front limbs as arms as potential candidates for modification. These beings lived among animals, competed for territory, and had hairy bodies similar to early Anunnaki ancestors. Enki captured these beings and presented them to the Anunnaki, suggesting they could be modified with Anunnaki essence. Ningish Zida examined the beings and found their essence similar to the Anunnakis, proposing that combining their essences would create a suitable worker. Enlil opposed the idea, advocating for the use of tools instead of creating new beings. Despite Enlil's objections, a council on Nibiru decided to proceed with the creation of the new beings for the sake of Nibiru's salvation. Enki and Ninmah led the experiments, attempting various combinations of essences and using crystal vessels for fertilization. Initial attempts faced challenges, but Enki suggested using vessels made from earthly materials, leading to the successful birth of a boy named Adamu, exhibiting a mix of Anunnaki and earthly features. Enki proposed creating female workers to facilitate autonomous procreation. Ninki, Enki's wife, agreed to carry the fertilized egg, resulting in the birth of a perfect female named Tiamat. Tiamat's essence was used to create more female workers, enabling the population of primitive workers to grow. Despite initial success, the workers faced reproductive issues, prompting further genetic adjustments by Ningish Zida. Earth experienced significant environmental changes, including increased heat, melting snow zones, flourishing vegetation, and natural disasters. Celestial disturbances and asteroid impacts added to the challenges, affecting the Anunnaki's mission on Earth. The third generation of Earth-born Anunnaki, including Inanna and Utu, took on new tasks alongside existing responsibilities. Enki established observation points and entrusted regions to his descendants, such as Nergal and Ereshkigal. However, the Anunnaki continued to face environmental and cosmic challenges, including strong winds, dust storms, and sulfur falls from the sky. Enki, Enlil, Ninmah, and Ningish Zida established a creation chamber in the Cedar Mountains near Ninmah's elixir seeds. The chamber became the center for multiplying cereals and sheep on Earth. Ninurta mentored Kain in sowing and harvesting, while Marduk mentored Abael in sheep breeding and herding. During the first harvest celebration, Kain offered grains and Abael offered sheep. Enki praised Abael's offering, but not Kain's, causing resentment. An argument over water led Kain to kill Abael with a stone. Kain was banished from Eden by Enki, and his lineage was altered by Ningish Zida to distinguish him from Adappa's other sons. The Anunnaki observed celestial changes and tremors, predicting a catastrophic flood caused by Nibiru's approach. King Anu's advisors warned of a great wave engulfing the Earth, leading to preparations for evacuation. Galzu arrived with a sealed message from Anu, revealing that Anunnaki who returned to Nibiru faced rapid aging and death due to their long stay on Earth. Galzu declared that Enki, Enlil, and Ninmah must stay on Earth and await the coming flood. Enlil announced that those marrying Earthlings must choose between staying or leaving without their spouses. Most Anunnaki, including Enki and his sons, decided to stay, while some, like Marduk, chose to leave with their families.
The Anunnaki connection. Sounds a lot like the Earth Chronicles or Dr. Z York's book. You know what I'm saying? If anybody's ever checked that out. So like this thought came to mind while watching that, right? What if everything's just a revolving door, right? A revolving circle. And you know how they say they came here and then they decided they wanted to, you know, they found another species, right? That other species was similar to them. What if that species was them in a way? And it's like a cycle. So then they evolve new species, that species grows, then people leave, thousands of years go on. We come back as more advanced people, not really knowing our true history, finding a less advanced people, then deciding, hey, let's help them out. And then it goes again. And then they get so advanced to where one day, thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a revolving door.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Stop scrolling. Have y'all seen this? That dog is sitting like a human being. People are saying that it's a skinwalker. I don't even know what a skinwalker even is. But this is a golden doodle dog. Who was the one that created these dogs? Now it's trying to be a dog again, sitting on all fours. Never in my days I seen a dog sit upright like that. Its posture was sitting as if it was a human being. Yeah, we seen you, bro. You're not an actual dog. You're something else. Let me know if y'all seen this.
What if it was a human soul?
See, my surrogate mother was Viola Armstrong. She had a son named Neil.
Oh, really?
As you know, the story goes, he went down to Antarctica, had a heart attack, stroke combo, and came back. And then there was stuff on the internet. And finally I had to look at Buzz and ask him, Buzz, what happened down there, Bud? Buzz did say one thing, and it just stuck in my head. It's the way he said it. He just said, we thought out things we shouldn't. And if Buzz saw something, and I don't know what it was, but it was enough to give the man a heart attack. So if there are beings down there, I would think these beings never planned on us. They've been there, they came in millions of years ago. They've been under ice for millions of years. I don't think they were expecting us.
Let me ask the thing about Buzz Aldrin, that there was this very cryptic tweet that came out during his stay down there. He said, "We have seen the faces of evil and we're all in danger." Right. And this is right before he had his heart attack. And I can tell you, logistically, to do a medical evacuation from the interior of Antarctica is very difficult and very expensive. So something must have majorly gone wrong.
To underscore the fact that when the C-130 crew had dropped them off, they disappeared. And then when they went to try to find them, there was nothing at the National Science Foundation camp at all. Nothing.
They were
moving.
gone.
They were
dozen
totally
scientists.
gone. And when they did show up, they had been missing for a couple of weeks. And Brian S. and the C-130 flight crew were then sent back. And they were expecting that they would see this group of scientists out to meet their plane, doing this, yelling, something. And he said they were lined up like birds on a wire. They were all kind of next to each other, and most of them had their heads down, looking at their feet when the C-130 was pulling up. And that somebody had to go from the flight crew over to the scientists and direct them to get onto the plane. And they talked about how not one single scientist said one word. Most of them walked with their looking down at the ground. Brian said when they got them loaded up, he said to his flight chief, what in the world? Where have they been? And the flight chief said, I don't know, we can't get a word out of them. And during the flight, Brian went and sat down next to one of the scientists, and he said he leaned over and touched the scientist's knee, and the man never looked up. And he said, it was as if we were dealing with 12 or 15 people who had suffered post-traumatic shock syndrome, that they were unnaturally frozen in their position and no speaking, and that they all looked afraid. That one of the SEALs that I have talked to that is not in the video said that as they walked for a mile or 2 miles into these very strange created architectures, they reached a point where something started coming through the walls out into the air. At first, it would go in and out of visibility, and then they realized that their minds were being manipulated. And then when they could see it clearly, and it was coming in and out like a television signal in the air, it appeared to be covered with scales, like an armadillo, the surface of an armadillo. And he said, when you are face to face with something like that, and you are trained in military to kill, but you're dealing with something you've never seen, and it can go in and out of visibility, and you know that your mind is being taken over by something that you are fighting. He said that happened in one of those corridors, and that was 2012.
Yo, what did he see in Antarctica? That's like one of the most detailed things I've heard in a while. A little armadillo man coming in and out of vision. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say about that, y'all. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think he saw down in Antarctica for real. But yeah, these are some of the most creepy and strange TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.